This call is now being recorded.
Ma'am, vaccine portion is also included in epidemiology. Ma'am.
What, Roshan?
Vaccine portion is also included in epidemiology, ma'am.
Yeah, it's included over there. But
Yeah,
actually, vaccination,
actually,
it's
it's
a,
a
yeah,
chapter. That's a thing.
it's a,
I think it's a separate chapter, ma'am.
yeah,
That's
it's a
a
separate chapter only because separate MCQs will be taken on that also. Just
okay, ma'am.
to give a touch of that, I have added few questions on vaccination because it
Okay, ma'am.
itself is a like a national immunization schedule, all that, no? Like
It's
new
a
vaccines and Mission Indradhanush, all this like
yes, ma'am.
huge coverage is there. So
Yes, ma'am.
that I will discuss it separately only.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Hello, Akarsh. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'll start with the MCQs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just read this question. If the prevalence is very low as compared to the incidence for a disease, it implies. So he is saying that prevalence, that is total number of old and new cases, it is very low as compared to the incidence. So for a
Yes,
disease,
ma'am. The
what does
formula
it
of
mean?
prevalence is equal to incidence into duration of disease.
Yeah, prevalence equal to INTD. This is a formula. Now, what is the question asked here is, yeah, just assume that there are like cases are coming. So new cases are coming, that is incidence is there. So they are getting added up and prevalence is also increasing as incidence is increasing. Then what happened? Suddenly there was some leak or something has happened in this tank. Imagine. Then what
Yes, ma'am.
happens? Whatever the new cases are coming, then prevalence it is decreasing. This is what he's saying. So what does
Yes,
it
ma'am.
means whatever the existing old cases and new cases, all those, they are getting either cured or treated very easily. That means some
Yes,
treatment
ma'am.
we cure, so they are getting cured. So that their number is not staying in that particular prevalence area, or all these cases maybe they are getting killed also, they are fatal. So there are two
Yes, ma'am.
possibilities,
Fast
it may be cured or it may be fatal.
or
So
fatal, ma'am.
yeah, so the concept when we apply it here and when we look into the options here, the first one is disease is very fatal or easily curable. So
It's
what do
a
you
correct
feel
answer.
about this? Somewhere I feel
It's
it
the correct answer.
might be a right option. Smriti,
Yes, ma'am.
Akash, Smriti, am I audible, Smriti?
Yes,
Ah,
ma'am.
yeah, Akash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the second option it says that disease is non-fatal. No, if it is
Yes.
non-fatal means like it is only one possibility he's saying. So non-fatal means it will remain as a chunk over here and prevalence it won't reduce if it is not a
Yes, ma'am.
non-fatal disease. So this is a wrong option. And the third
Yes.
option is saying that calculation of prevalence and incidence is wrong. So it is
Hmm.
totally unrelated to this.
Yes,
Some way this cannot
unrelated.
be possible. Then fourth option is nothing can be said as they are independent. No, because prevalence and incidence they are always linked to each other. Yes, they have got some relationship between each other. So this statement is also wrong. So when we want to correlate with the given question, so option 1, it is the appropriate answer for the question asked. That is prevalence, if it is very low as compared to incidence, then it implies, that means what, disease is very fatal or easily curable. Next question. These are some calculation based questions. Try to understand it.
Yes,
A
ma'am.
party was attended by 110 people, out of which 40 did not eat fruit salad. From the rest who ate fruit salad, 55 developed food poisoning. What is the attack rate? So the question I asked is attack rate. So students, it
70.
is like incidence is of two types. One is attack rate, another is secondary attack rate.
Second.
Yes. Now, what is attack rate? It is nothing but something about the epidemic only. Total number
Yes.
of new cases occurring in a short period of time. So, what is the formula for this attack rate? Because question is asking what is attack rate. So, it is like total
Number
number
of
of
people
people. Yeah,
affected
number of affected people with the given
divided
disease
by
divided by. Look at the denominator. Total
yes,
number
ma'am.
of
The number.
people at risk. This is the denominator and multiplier is 100. That means the result should be always expressed in percentage.
Percentage.
Yes, Smriti, Akarsh, getting the point here?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
the denominator is at risk. Now look at the question. What is the N? That is total number of people attended the party. They are 110
110.
people. 110 people. Now out of which 40 did not eat the fruit salad. Who did not know fruit salad is how much? They are 40.
Uh,
Now how many
40.
people are at risk? Because we want to see, because
7.
denominator we have to put who are at risk. Because 40 they did not eat fruit salad. So no fruit salad. Okay. Then, whoever ate the fruit salad, 55 developed food poisoning. Now, food poisoning was developed by what? They are nothing but cases.
Yes. New
Affected
cases.
people. They are how many? 55. This is what is the numbers we have over here. Now,
Yes,
total
ma'am.
is 110. Now, in this 110, how many are at risk? That is 110 minus 40. Why
40.
minus 40? Because 40 people they did not eat fruit
Did
salad.
not eat.
Because food poisoning occurred to only those people who ate fruit salad. Now 110 minus 40, how much it will be?
70.
It is 70. So now here the people who are at risk is risk people. They are how much? 70.
70.
That is 70. So it means, what does it mean? Like 70 people ate the
That
fruit
is this.
salad. So they had fruit salad. Now out of these 70 people, food poisoning was developed by 55. Now it is very easy for us to calculate. So 70 people are at risk because they ate fruit salad and food poisoning was developed by how many? 55. Now
55.
substitute the values in the attack rate formula. That is number of people who developed the
55.
disease. That is 55. And who were at
Divided by
risk how many?
70.
70. And the multiplier is 100.
100.
Smriti and Akarsh, you people also calculate it. Now attack
78.
rate, how much it will be?
78%.
78. Always mention in terms of percentage. So what is the attack rate? It is 78%. So that is the attack rate of this given
Yes.
problem.
Yep.
Understood
Yes,
how
ma'am.
to calculate this? So simple
Yes,
thing,
ma'am.
you need to clearly know the formula. If you simply put how much 55 by then 110 into 100, because you didn't think about the risk actually. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
just see 55 divided by 110, how much it will be? 55 divided by into 100. So how much attack rate if you get if you do this wrongly by giving the denominator as just 110, then you will get 50. So that
50,
time
ma'am.
what happens here in the option 50 is also there. When if you assume that whatever you calculate is right and if you take 4, no, then you will be losing your marks and you may in fact get the negative marks also. So just to
Yes, ma'am.
avoid all that, you should be very careful. Yes, attack rate is asked, fine. Then my denominator I should be very careful because I have to put only who are at risk. Instead, look at the question. If the question says that all 110 people they ate fruit salad means, then definitely your denominator will become 110 only.
110.
Yes, clear with the concept, Akash, Smriti, Roshan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the answer here is 78. Next, third question. In an outbreak of cholera in a village of 2000 population, 20 cases have occurred and 5 cases have died. Now, case fatality rate. Now, the question asked is about case fatality rate. So, in this case fatality rate, what we need to know? Like
Yes, ma'am.
total number of cases, okay,
Yes.
that have been died, and denominator should be what? Total number of like cases that are reported only for that disease. Like
Yes,
here
ma'am.
what is there? Out of 2000 village population, the question is saying that 20 cases have occurred. So we don't know, maybe some disease it is X disease. So 20 cases, and out of those 20, how many have died? That is XD. It indicates that how many have died? 5.
I
So 5, right? Now case fatality rate is what? The given by the formula, case fatality rate is
number
number
of
of
deaths
deaths divided by
during
number of,
number of person with specific disease, ma'am.
yeah, into multiplier is always 100. Remember this. and it is always expressed in percentage. So case fatality rate here is like death. How many death are there? It is
5.
5 divided by number of cases. How many cases we have? Total number of cases 20. Multiplier
20.
is 100. Just
Yes, ma'am.
calculate this. How much it will be? So what is the
Ma'am,
answer over here? Case
25.
fatality rate is
25
25%.
percentage.
So what is the meaning of 25%? It means that if there are 100 people, definitely sure
25
that
people.
25 people will be killed because of that particular disease. That is the meaning of case fatality rate. It is also called as killing power of the disease or virulence of the organism. And it is
Yes, ma'am.
always applicable for which diseases? Acute diseases. And it is never useful for chronic diseases like HIV. Just remember this. And what is the case fatality rate for rabies? You should never forget this. If you remember the previous lectures, it is always 100%. If there are
Yes, ma'am.
100 cases affected with rabies, then all 100 rabies cases will be dead. There is no option for that. So the answer here is 25%.
25%.
Yes, Akash, Smriti, clear? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next question. In WHO recommended death certificate, main underlying cause of death is recorded on. Because why I'm stressing on this question is because it has been recently asked in recent NEET and other AIMS examination also. Like if you remember the international death certificate, which I mentioned
Already.
in one of my previous lecture, it has got how many parts?
916.
Two
Part 1,
parts
part
are.
2, ma'am.
Yeah,
Part 1, Part 2.
part 1, part 2.
Part
And
2.
for a epidemiologist, this part 2 is not much of concern. It just mentions about any other comorbid or associated conditions. And part 1 is divided into A, 1B,
ABC.
and 1C. And 1C is very important because it talks about most antecedent, most antecedent cause
Also.
for the death.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
last time, if you remember the example, like the
Yes.
patient has died because of what nephritic problem. Then after that, the complication it is diabetic nephropathy, and the actual problem was what underlying cause was diabetes mellitus. So the thing is that if this diabetes mellitus was treated at the earlier stages, then person would not have landed up into diabetic nephropathy and its further complications. So now as an epidemiologist, which is the main or actual cause I'm looking into, that is line 1C. So remember line 1C is the one which talks
Most
about the most antecedent
underlining.
cause. And line 1B talks about antecedent cause. Am I clear with this?
Yes, ma'am.
So now the
Yes, ma'am.
question, yeah, main, look at here. Students, the question is asking main. Main, this word is very important. That is nothing but most underlying cause of death, then tick for line 1C. If at all the question doesn't include main, if it just simply says that in a death certificate, underlying cause of death is recorded on,
1.
then your answer should be 1B. So, why I'm telling you is that each and every word is very important for you to fetch the marks. If you fetch more marks, then your branch or ball will be in your court only. So just try to understand the what they are trying to expect from you. Next, fifth question. A community of 5 lakh people had 100 deaths in a year. Out of these 100 deaths, 10 individuals died due to pulmonary tuberculosis. What is the proportional mortality rate from TB? Students, what is the question here? How many deaths are there? ND, total number of deaths is 100. Right? Let us write the
Yes.
data over here. And he is saying that out of these 100 deaths, 10 individuals died due to pulmonary TB. Now he has become very much specific. Death due to pulmonary TB. How many are there?
10.
It is 10.
10.
Now, what we have to do now, always on the
10
one
percent.
rough sheet, we need to split the data and we need to write it over there. Now, what he is asking, what is a proportional mortality rate? So, what is a proportional mortality rate? What does it mean? Now, students, let us remember the formula. It is also one of the indicator for mortality. So,
Total.
formula for proportional mortality rate is
Number of
number
deaths
of
in specific.
deaths due to specific disease,
Divided by
specific
total
disease,
number of death.
yeah, divided by total number of death, total number of death. And how it is different from our case fatality rate. In case fatality rate, the denominator is also like linked to the same disease, which is of interest. If we are talking about a TB, number of deaths due to TB, denominator also it should be like number of total cases of TB. So it is like the linking will be that way. Whereas in proportional mortality rate, the denominator not necessarily that total number of cases will be only of TB. It may be like malaria, dengue, many other cases also will be included. But total number of overall cases will be like or deaths due to any other disease. And multiplier is what? 100. Yes.
100.
Now let us substitute the values. Proportional mortality rate equal to number of
10.
deaths due to TB is how much? It
10.
is already given 10. And denominator is total number of deaths due
100.
to any disease, not necessarily TB only, 100. And multiplier is again 100 only. These two will cancel each other. Now what is the answer? Proportional mortality rate means it is
10.
10%. What does it mean 10%? Out of all the deaths, the burden of TB in that community is 10%. In that community, that is for 5 lakh people, the burden of TB is how much? 10%. So, what is the essence of this proportional mortality rate? It talks about what is the burden of disease. Now, the question can be asked in other way also. Everything will be same. 5 lakh people, 100 death, and out of this 100 death, 10 death are from pulmonary tuberculosis. Then what is the burden of disease? The question can ask this way also. Now, if at all the question is about burden of disease, don't get confused. It is nothing but a synonym for proportional
Proportional
mortality
mortality.
rate. Now, thing is that all these formulas, concepts should be where it should be there in your brain tip, tongue tip, and fingertip. When it reaches the fingertip, no, then definitely it will be there on your paper, and definitely it will be reflected in your results. Yes, just try to understand the concepts here. Smriti, Akash, Roshan,
Yes, ma'am.
am I audible?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
what should be the answer over here? Akash,
10%.
yeah, it is 10%. Smriti, do you agree with
10%.
this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Next question. Just read this carefully. A primary health center, it reports 40 to 50 cases in a week. Akash, am I audible? Akash?
Is not in line, ma'am.
Okay. A primary health center reports 40 to 50 cases in a week in a community. This week, there are 48 cases normally based on previous records. This is called. Now, what he is saying that normally this word, look at this word. Normally means what? All the time.
Yes,
All the
ma'am.
time.
Expected time.
Yeah, all the time, anytime you go that particular area in that community, how many cases will be there? 40 will be there, or 50 cases will be there, or 48 cases. So normally it is just moving around within these numbers only. So when the word normally or all the time or constantly, that means throughout the time. So when all these words are given, then just it should strike to your mind that yes, now I think it is something about endemic. Yes,
Yes.
because epidemic means he won't say normally, he will tell suddenly there are some 10 new cases means then think of epidemic. If something like normally or constantly, then it means what? It is an endemic.
And
And sporadic means what? It is also cluster of cases here and there it will occur, but these cases
related
are
to
not linked to each other,
not
like
related to
lead
each
poisoning or something like any sudden accidents or sudden gas leakage. So here and there some problems will occur, but they are not linked to each other. Yes, and outbreak, this term is nothing but a synonym for our epidemic only. Now students, so when we have seen this word normally, and among all the given option, endemic
endemic.
is the right one. So just stick for this. We'll go to the next question. Just read this carefully. A physical examination records, again I should think about this thing. Yes, this fellow is talking something about records, okay, of the entire incoming freshman class of 1935. So where did this fellow go? he went into 1935 at the University of Michigan, where examined 1997 to see if the recorded height and weight at the time of admission at that time, again this is also very important, of admission to the university was related to their chance of developing CHD. This is an example of. Now students, just
Backward
read
study.
this. Huh?
Backward study.
Yeah, it is a, don't say Roshan backward. Backward means it is case control study. You are totally wrong. Backward means it is nothing but case control study. Don't get confused with this. So now this question is very beautifully asked. What is saying that the researcher is in 1997. Now this researcher, this fellow, what he is doing, he has gone back into time, okay, gone back into time to 1935. How did he go to back in time? So he went to some
Exam record.
hospital, and their hospital staff he asked, or some college he went and he asked the college personnel, kindly give me the what records of the students who joined or admitted during took admission in 1935. Now the college officials, they have given the records of 1935, and there he has checked their height, weight and all, because some obese people or somebody who are short statured, so all these parameters he has recorded. Then he has traced the address of all those students who took admission in 1935, and the researcher has come back and he has met all those people in 1997, that is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Then he asked them, now do you have coronary heart disease, or maybe he has done some investigations on them. Now out of all those people who joined in 1935, maybe we will assume some 100 people joined in that 1935, maybe some 40 developed coronary heart disease. So that means what we are trying to prove, that whether this height and weight, are there some risk factors for coronary heart disease or no. To find out whether they have got some risk association with development of CHD or no, what did we do? We went back into time. How did we go back? Using the hospital records, that is history was taken, historical records were collected, then again we came back to the present. So this particular design here, then go back, then again come back to the present
Come back.
to find out the association between risk factor and the outcome. So this particular design we call it as what? Retrospective, backward
Retrospective and
only.
forward.
But thing is that it is cohort.
Forward study.
Roshan, remember, you
Yes,
said
ma'am.
backward. Along with that backward, the word cohort is very important for us. If you
Yes, ma'am.
simply say backward, then it will become nice case control study.
First
You'll be
forward
landing
study.
up into trouble by losing your marks. It is wrong. The word cohort, because cohort means what? Group of individuals sharing similar characteristics. Like it may be like why they are a group of individuals, because all these 1935 people batch who has joined took admission during 1935 in that college, they will fall under one cohort because they all joined in that particular year. So that's why they are called as cohorts of 1935. Maybe you are all batch people of 2016 or 17, so you all belong to cohort of what, 16 cohorts or 17 cohorts. So this question now directly links to which one? Retrospective cohort study, because it is not cross sectional study. No, at one period of time I did not check for prevalence or anything, so the
Yes, ma'am.
design itself is a different one. And prospective study means what? It is like you will be here 1997, then again go ahead do some follow up in the future, maybe 2007, then 2017. If you do some follow up like this, no, then it will become prospective cohort study. Again, to add this word cohort is very important. Then clinical trial, no, because I didn't do any intervention only. I just went back, I checked the records, then again I came back in time, then I checked whether they had some disease or no. That's it, I have done nothing, no tablets or nothing intervention I have done. So this fourth option is also not relevant for this. Now, what is the answer you need to choose for here? It is retrospective cohort
Forward study.
study. So, students, don't say blindly that it is retrospective. Retrospective cohort. If you say retrospective study means, then it will become, or backward study means it is nothing but case control study.
Study.
Yeah. Next, read this question. Incidence of CS cervix in women with multiple sexual partners is 5 times the incidence seen in those with a single partner. Based on this, what is the attributable risk? What is this fellow is asking now? Again, this fellow is asking about attributable risk. Now, for this, the question is something tricky over here. What this question is saying that some women they have got CA cervix, and this CA cervix is more common in women with multiple sex partners. So, multiple sex partners, how many times it is more common? 5
5
times
times.
than those seen with a single partner. So, single partner, how much? We don't know.
One.
That number we don't know.
X.
Single partner.
X.
Now, let us assume that it is X.
X.
Yes. And he is saying that 5 times more with the multiple sexual partners. That is 5x. Got the point here?
Yes, ma'am.
Smriti,
Yes, ma'am.
Akash, did you all get the point here? So if we
Yes.
assume that that chances of getting this cervical cancer in single partner a lady is X, and if it is like with multiple sex partner, the chance of getting cervical cancer is 5 times. He is saying times means I will add 5x. Now, what is the attributable risk he is asking? Yes. Now, using this, what will I do? So, attributable risk. What is the formula for the attributable risk? That is,
Incidence among exposed minus
yeah,
incidence
incidence among exposed
Incidence
minus non-exposed divided by
by incidence
incidence among
exposed
non-exposed
into
into 100.
100. So
exposed.
attributable risk is how much it will be among the
Uh,
exposed.
minus
5x
Like what
5x
it is
minus
5x
x x
minus
minus
x
minus
divided
5x
by 5x
5x.
into 100
100.
into 100 rupees. Now do the calculations. 5x minus x is how much? 4x divided by 5x into 100.
80%.
Yeah,
80%.
excellent answer. So now students, if you understand the concept here, you can just go and confidently mark the option over here. So answer 80% is there. So it is the right answer. Any doubts here? Is it clear for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now
Yes,
we will
ma'am.
go to the next question. Just look at here. Uh, Akash, am I audible for you? Okay. In a study, 400 smokers, students, Smriti and Roshan, and 600 non smokers were followed up over a period of 10 years. So, two
Hmm.
people are there, two groups are there, smokers and non smokers. And how many smokers are there? What is the total smokers? 400.
For
And total non smokers, how many are there?
600.
600. And they
600.
were followed up over a period of how many? 10 years to
10
find out
years.
the incidence of hypertension. That means what here this study is going on what? It is something a prospective study only. That is a cohort study. Anywhere
Yes.
incidence is given, it is a cohort only. Now the following table summarizes the data at the end. Now students just look at this table. Now our focus should start on this table. Let us see here. So here smoking. How many smokers? Like total
So,
smokers are 100 as per the data given,
for
and non-smokers. How many are there? Total, they are 60,
600.
right? Then in this, how many developed hypertension? Smokers
120.
120.
130.
And then 280, they did not develop hypertension, right? Then after that, among non-smokers, 30 developed hypertension and 570, they did not develop hypertension. And the
Yes,
question is continued here. What is the risk ratio? What is the risk ratio? It is nothing but relative risk only he is asking. What is the formula here? Incidence among exposed
exposed
divided by incidence
incidence
among.
among non
Non-exposed.
Now first we have to calculate what is incidence among exposed. Now just go back to the table. What is the incidence among exposed? Smokers. That is
120.
120. Yes, they have got the disease. And what is the denominator total out of how many they got hypertension? It is 400.
4.
Yes, got the point? If I
Hmm.
do this way, I will get incidence among the exposed. Then after that, incidence among the non-exposed, that is non-smokers.
Hmm.
Among non-smokers, how many developed hypertension? 30. The
30.
data is shown here. Look at here, hypertension, yes, 30 are there. Then out of how many developed this thing? It is 600. Yes. Now students just come forward and we'll apply this. That is 120 divided
By
by
400.
400
400. Then
by
30
uh, 30 by
divided by
600.
how much it is?
600.
600. Now just do this calculations. So relative risk or risk ratio equal to how much it will be? Just tell me. 120 divided by 400, how much it is?
6, ma'am.
Yeah, how
6.
much it is? 6.
6.
Kriti, did you calculate?
And 6.
120 divided by 400, point 3. Okay, we'll just do this. So 0.3. Then 30 divided by 600, 600, 0.05. Then 0.3 divided by 0.05, how much it is? 0.3 divided by 0.05. How much it is? 6. Roshan, you have calculated 6.
Yes, ma'am.
Priti, did you get the answer as 6?
Yes, ma'am.
So now, done, right? If I know the formula and if I know the concept, everything will be clear. So the answer will be what? It is 6.
6.
Now, one more logic I want to tell you. If at all, the total, if he says that 1000, okay,
Hmm.
and if the total, if it is given 1000, then make sure that you can directly apply this 120 or 30 as such. Yes, got the point here?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Fine. We will go to next question.
Ma'am,
At
if
prime,
in attribute, ma'am, if in attributable risk also, if there is given 1000, so we have to put directly the value, ma'am.
yes, 1000, then your solution, getting solution will be very much simplified. Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah. Next, we'll go to the next question. At primary health center level, vaccines are stored in, like, if you know the concept of cold chain. What is
Yes, ma'am.
cold chain? It is nothing
Ma'am,
but
for the storage of
temperature maintained.
For the
Yeah,
storage of medicine in
yeah.
hospitals.
So to
Hmm.
store the vaccines, we need to maintain the temperature. Now, if you see at different levels, how it is in Indian system, at a regional level, okay, or at state level, this is one level.
yes, ma'am.
Then second thing is at district level. District level. Then vaccines are also stored at PHC level. At PHC also vaccines are available. Then
Yes, ma'am.
again vaccines are also stored at where? Subcenter level. Below PHC we call it as what? Subcenter level.
Center.
Ye- Yes, ma'am.
Above this subcenter level, that is what? Our grassroots level, that is at village level. Now, what the concept is that we have to maintain the temperature of the vaccines properly in all these levels, because every area where people will be there at regional or state levels also humans will be
Yes,
there,
ma'am.
children will be there. So every area vaccines are required and the vaccines need to be stored in proper temperature. So what should be the normal temperature for vaccine storage? It is plus 2 degrees to plus 8 degrees centigrades.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the range of
Except,
temperature to be maintained for the ideal storage of the vaccination in any of this level. So we need to maintain the temperature. Now at regional or state level, the vaccines are stored at where? Ice line refrigerator.
yes, ma'am.
Sorry, not ice line. It is walk-in cold
True.
room or
Cold room.
walk-in freezer. Like a huge room will be there, you can just cold room will be there, you can just go and walk and you can just move around in that cold area. So that we call is what? Walk-in cold room. It's like a nice chilling out room, and it will is such type of a huge cold rooms are present at where? At the regional or at the state level. So maybe Orissa, Bhubaneswar, definitely that this walk-in cold rooms are present.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
what about this walk-in freezers? These walk-in freezers are also such a huge cold temperature maintained rooms, and these particular freezers are used to prepare ice packs. Ice packs. So what is the thing is that in walk-in cold room, we store the vaccines. like OPV vaccine or DPT vaccine or MMR vaccine or rabies vaccine. All these varieties of vaccines will be stored in where? Walk-in cold room. And
Yes,
sometimes
ma'am.
if you want to create some ice packs, like because in village level and all when we go, no, they are all such big chambers, it is not possible to put them over, they're not feasible also, and not possible to maintain them. So in such areas we need what? Ice packs. And these ice packs will be prepared in this walk-in freezers. So this is all about what? Regional or state level. And here vaccines are usually stored minimum for 3 months. Minimum for how many months? three
3 months,
months
ma'am.
Then when we come to district level, can you tell me anyone district in your Orissa state? District level?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, some district is there in your place in the state of Orissa. So in the
Okay.
district level, what will be there? Large ice-lined
Iceland.
refrigerators. Remember,
Hmm.
large and large deep freezers are present. So what are
Hmm.
these ice-lined refrigerators? Do you remember, like if you go to ice cream shop, what is the difference between the fridge that is present in our house and fridge that is used for vaccination? Our house, how it is, Smriti, front door will be there, right? Just if
Front
you
Yes,
door.
open
ma'am.
the door, front door is present. Yes,
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is our regular home fridge. Whereas this Iceland refrigerators, just remember ILR. This ILR, the door opening, it is not front. It is at the top. It is at the
Like
top.
ice cream chamber.
Yes, ice cream shop, if you go, just he will
Ah,
open the flip. So it is like top, it will be there. So what is the advantage of that? The top, what happens, even though we open the lid of this Iceland refrigerator, there won't be outgo of the temperature. Air particles, it will come and settle down. So temperature will be maintained. But if we use our home fridge, what happens? The moment we open the door, we'll feel that coldness, right? The cold air will try to come out. So what happens here? The temperature disturbance will occur. Whereas in Iceland refrigerator, even if you open also, the temperature will be maintained for some time. So the vaccination, it won't, the products whatever are there, the temperature will be maintained and vaccines will be nicely stored. So like this in district level, Iceland refrigerators, which are of larger size, will be used. Whereas another thing what we will use in district level is even deep freezers are also used. And whereas in PHC level, again, a smaller size of Iceland refrigerator and a small sized deep freezers are used. Deep freezers are used. Now, one more thing I want to tell you here is that at PHC level, what we will do is, for example, there is a Iceland refrigerator. Now, here I will attach one thermometer because I want to know no, whether the temperature is maintained at this +2 to +8 degrees. I want to know
Dive.
this temperature. Otherwise, it will be
Dial.
failure. If
Yes, ma'am.
temperature is not maintained, then definitely it will lead to vaccine failure. I don't want this thing to happen, right? Now, what I will do, a dial thermometer means a round shaped thermometer. It is not a alcohol thermometer, not a mercury based thermometer. It is based on some different principle only. So some numbers will be there, and one pointer will be there, and here 2 degrees and here 8 degrees will be there, and here one green color zone will be there. So your arrow mark should be always lying within this 2 to 8 degrees zone. If it is not there, that means the temperature has been altered, some problem has occurred. Now you need to call your medical officer, and that person will come and he will readjust the temperature of this Iceland refrigerator. So this is very important, and this is the basic thing that happens at the PHC level.
Yes.
Yes, but now when we go to sub-center level and village level, there are no ice line refrigerators
Refrigerator.
and no deep freezers. Just what we have to
Cold.
do, some vaccine carriers will be there. I think in this polio vaccination, some blue boxes you have seen, right?
Yes.
Some box
Yes, ma'am.
will be there. All ice packs will be kept in that. So some in between some vaccine vials will be kept. So this is nothing but vaccine carriers. So vaccine carriers are used at sub-center level and village level. What we will use, this ice
Cold.
packs are used
Ice
at this
pack.
village level. Now, students, just look at the question. At primary health center level, now PHC level, vaccines are stored in. Now we know the concept, right? Yeah. PHC level,
Deep
what is
freezer
there?
and
Iceland refrigerator and our deep freezer is also there. Now look at the thing. Cold box? No. Yes, deep freezer, yes, it is also there. And very important is that Iceland refrigerator is also there. And walk-in cold room. This walk-in cold room, it is present at where?
State level.
State or
State
district
level.
level. Now, this is not the option. Cold box, no. And deep freezer, maybe something it is not exact for this. And Iceland refrigerator, yes. It is present at the PHC level. If you go to PHC, no, you try to observe this. Iceland refrigerator, definitely it will be there at every PHC. So, Iceland refrigerator is the answer for this. And to check for the temperature monitoring of this Iceland refrigerator, what is used? Dial
Ma'am,
thermometer.
dial thermometer.
Yes, remember this. It is a non-alcoholic thermometer and it is very easy to read also. Our health workers will be there. They are not that qualified. So simple, some basic 10th or below that graded people also will be appointed. So for them to understand whether the temperature is maintained as +2 to +8 degrees for them to read, it is very easy for them just to see the pointer is just pointing towards 2 to 8 degrees or no. If not, they will go and alert their medical officer. Yes.
Yes.
Next. All of the following live vaccines are contraindicated in pregnancy except. Now look at the question except. Now live vaccine. What do you mean by live vaccine? Organism is live. Yes, it is a full
Mhm.
organism which is live, but it is attenuated.
Attenuated
Attenuated is what? Its virulence is reduced.
and
Okay.
injected into the
No
person.
pathogenicity, ma'am.
No
Yes, very
pathogen.
good. Excellent. Virulence is reduced. Remember this word, it is reduced. I didn't completely remove its virulence. It is reduced and its antigenicity.
Is
Antigen
there.
Is
is,
there.
Antigen present, but the pathogenicity is not.
yeah, antigenicity is fully maintained. This word is very important for you because questions can be asked. Antigenicity is partially maintained or fully maintained or not maintained. So here antigenicity is fully maintained, but virulence is reduced. I'm not saying that it is totally absent. It is there, but it is of low intensity. Now, this is a concept behind this live attenuated vaccines. Now, the question is all live attenuated vaccines are contraindicated in pregnancy. Why? Because pregnancy is itself is an immunocompromised state.
Immunocompromised statement.
Itself is an immunocompromised state. Do you all agree with this? Now, in
Yes.
this immunocompromised state, for this lady, if I want to give any of this live attenuated vaccine, then what will happen? This virus will become very much powerful because it is not killed, it is still alive. Now, this virus will become highly powerful and it will show its action, and this lady will get the like complications, like she herself will develop the disease. Now, this is a complication, definitely it is going to happen. I don't want all these things to happen. So I don't want to give any of the live vaccines for the pregnant lady. Yes. Now, can you name me any of the live vaccines? Because I'll take all this detail in vaccination
OPV,
chapter. Yeah, very good.
OPV,
OPV.
BCG,
Yes.
BCG,
Then,
ma'am, measles, mumps, rubella, yellow fever.
yes. Rubella, yellow fever, all these are what? Live attenuated vaccines. Now, in pregnancy, what can be given is it is yellow fever.
Yes, ma'am. Except
Because
yellow.
it is that even though yellow fever is also a live attenuated vaccine, don't forget this. It is also a live attenuated vaccine. But the thing is that if this lady is residing in an area where it is an endemic for yellow fever, and the chances also there that many cases are being reported during her pregnancy, then please give the yellow fever vaccine to her.
Yes.
Because if she doesn't receive the vaccine, then chances that she will get this yellow fever is risk of getting yellow fever is very high. And if she
Yes.
receives the vaccine, then at least she may get protection from the yellow fever. This is the scientific concept behind giving the vaccine of yellow fever for a pregnant lady in the endemic area of yellow fever. If the area is not endemic for yellow fever, then don't give this yellow fever vaccine, no need to give. But if the lady pregnant lady is residing in an area surrounding her all many some yellow fever cases has occurred, then first immunize her irrespective whether it is an live attenuated vaccine. Yes. So
Yes, ma'am.
all these four options given are live attenuated vaccines only. But yellow fever vaccine can be given looking at the situation. Yes,
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
That fine. Now let us look the another thing. Occurrence of a disease in haphazard and irregular pattern. Now what is the question is asked about haphazard and irregular pattern. So here and there, some cases are occurring. Okay, it is not like our endemic which is constantly present. It is not
Sporadic.
like epidemic only when the outbreak is present, nor it is a pandemic like throughout the globe, everywhere it is present. No, nothing is that. So definitely it's a straightforward question. It is
Sporadic.
sporadic. Yes, any confusions here?
No,
No,
ma'am.
Anything
ma'am. No, ma'am.
haphazardously, irregular, then think of sporadic. Anything like all the time or constantly or throughout the year. So if these are the words used, then think of epidemic. And if it is something a sudden outbreak or a sudden new number of cases or beyond the normal expectancy, if all such words are given, think of epidemic.
Epidemic.
And internationally, country to country means then it's
Pandemic.
Pandemic.
Pakka, it is a pandemic. Next, the question is vaccine with maximum efficacy. Like vaccine with maximum efficacy means what? If you give the vaccination, how long the protection is given for that particular disease? This is what is the question is asked. Now it was observed that OPV vaccine, that is oral polio vaccine, what is the efficacy rate? If the child receives this vaccination, how much protection he or she can get from this poliomyelitis? Maybe some 80%, 80 to
80%.
85%. Yes. Then what about TT? 60 to 70%.
65%.
Like if the TT tetanus toxoid is taken, maybe this much percentage of protection is there. Another 30%, it's left to God only, nature only. I don't know. Even after taking tetanus TT vaccine, still the person develops this tetanus means what? The vaccine is not 100% effective in giving protection to the individual. What about this BCG? Do you think
BCG,
that
ma'am,
maximum efficacy is there?
60%,
No.
ma'am.
Huh? Yes, Smriti, tell. Yeah.
The efficacy is 60 to 70%.
Very good. It is also not 100%. Maybe for 20 years, no. If today at birth, when is BCG is given? Usually it is given at
Just
the
after.
yeah, the moment baby's child is born, no, at that moment only you give this BCG vaccine at the insertion of adult mother. Where how it is given? It is given intradermally. Yes, it is
Yes, ma'am.
given intradermally. 0.05 ml. It has to be given. Then what is the thing? If the child gets this vaccination, maximum 20 years of age. That means till the baby gets comes to 20 years of age, till that time protection is there for which type of tuberculosis? Extra pulmonary
Miliarity.
tuberculosis. Students remember BCG never gives protection for pulmonary tuberculosis. No protection for pulmonary TB. It gives
Yes, ma'am.
protection for
Yes.
severe forms of any other extra pulmonary TB. This is what you have to remember. After 20 years, then it is again left to God only. I don't know. Now, after you are all about 20 only. Now, do you all have this BCG scar on your left upper arm?
Yes, ma'am.
Smriti, do you have the scar of BCG?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
If
ma'am.
it is there, then fine, it is good for you. You have got some protection for that. If no scar, then again your vaccination is again a questionable. That scarring is very important in this BCG vaccination. And one more question, just one point I want to tell you. Osteomyelitis is the most common complication seen with which type of vaccination? Osteomyelitis. Yes, Roshan Smriti. Osteomyelitis is a complication that is most commonly seen with BCG vaccination. Remember this. So,
Yes, ma'am.
BCG vaccination in the immunization schedule, only one dose is given. Remember, students, only one dose. That is
Yes.
at birth,
Just after birth.
after birth. Okay, this I will tell you the concept later. If something it is missed, then later also it can be given, no problem. So within 28 days. And then thing is that no protection for pulmonary TB. It gives protection for extra pulmonary tuberculosis, and maximum it can give protection up to 20 years. And presence of BCG scar is very important. And route of administration of BCG is how it should be
Intradermal.
intra.
Intradermal.
That means what? Just below the skin, you need to give that insertion of deltoid muscle, and it should be given on where? Left
Left delta.
upper,
Upper delta.
not ventricle roshan, not CVS. Now we are in community here, community medicine. Okay, left upper arm. Why it is given only in the left upper arm, Smriti, Roshan? If you see anybody, like in India or the world, always it is given in left side. Why not left, right side? Right side also deltoid muscle is there, no? Like, right side also skin is there. But why don't we give it on right side? Only on left side. Why did we give? Roshan, Smriti, if I ask you to give BCG to the child, then vaccine, everything have loaded it in the syringe, then baby is also there. Now you have to give the vaccination. Now, where you will give right arm or left arm?
Left arm.
Always
Left arm, ma'am.
left arm. Don't give it in right arm. Any problem is there with the right arm? What is
Dominant hand, ma'am.
huh?
Right hand.
What
Right hand is dominant hand.
dominant hand? Huh? No, no, it is basically for the purpose of uniformity. Uniformity. Why I will tell you. Because when we do any national immunization schedule or program or survey, like if you want to know how many children are got immunized with BCG, what I will do, I will just go and check the left arm, and that scar is there. Yes, this baby got the immunization for BCG. It is just for the purpose of uniformity. One, if I give on right, another baby got on left means, then sometimes whoever goes and checks for like whether the vaccination is received or not, that fellow may get confused. Both the arms to check, it will be sometimes a confusing and a tedious process to check. So just to have a uniformity, government has recommended that, and WHO also recommended better this BCG should always be given globally only on the left upper arm. Yes, just to
Yes.
maintain the uniformity. Now, students, let us see about this fellow measles. What about this measles vaccine? It can be given either single measles vaccine, or it can be given in combination as
MR.
MR or MMR also. Some states of India only single is given, or double, that is MR, or it is given in combination of MMR, mumps, measles, rubella. Whatever it is there, it has been observed that single dose of measles vaccine, it gives 90% protection. But if you give two doses of measles vaccine, that is M1 and M2, the protection offered is 99%. Now, students, do you understand why two doses has to be given? If you give
Yes, ma'am.
second dose of measles vaccine, then all over this what immuno antibodies produced against this measles antigen will be very high, and the memory power also will be long lasting. Lifelong immunity you can get it. So it is like a concept of memory only over here. So first dose of measles vaccine, 90% efficacy is there, 90% protection. If we give second dose, then 99%. So maximum efficacy is seen with which one? Measles vaccine. Even if the person doesn't take measles vaccine and the individual is already affected with measles, then don't worry, because it will give lifelong immunity to that child or the individual, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
One simple question I want to ask you: what is the pathognomic feature of measles? Pathognomic means what? If this particular clinical feature is there, then definitely you can say that yes, it is short. No doubt, it is measles only, because there are certain things like gunshot points or striking points we say for any disease. So, what
Yes,
is
ma'am.
the pathognomic feature of measles? Smriti?
Coplic spot, ma'am.
Yeah,
Or
Roshan.
Coplic spot.
That's
Complex
spots.
Spot.
spot. Where are these
Second.
spots are seen? It is seen.
Um. Second molar.
Second
Yeah,
molar areas.
very good. Which one, upper or lower?
Ma'am,
Upper.
upper.
No, it is lower. Buccal mucosa. Remember this. That is what I'm saying. Always know whatever you read, no, it should be like cut. One particular cut should be there. So buccal mucosa of lower opposite to
Second molar
in the
area.
buccal mucosa opposite to lower second molar. You said
Molar.
it is second molar. It is not upper second molar. It is lower.
Yeah.
So buccal mucosa of the lower second molar, you can see some bluish color spots before the onset of the rash of measles. If this particular spot is seen in the oral cavity, then definitely the child will is having measles. So
Yes,
this is
ma'am.
one of the pathognomic or the striking clinical features. Then we'll go to the next question. Which of the following vaccine is not given at birth?
Hemophilus influenza B. Hemophilus influenza B, ma'am.
Hemophilus
HIV.
influenza, HIV. Yes, that is very good. Hemophilus.
Starting 6 week,
influenza.
ma'am.
Yeah. So at birth, I'll tell you the schedule in the next session. So vaccination to be given at birth as per National Immunization Schedule of India is that is
OPB,
BCG,
OPB and hepatitis B.
Hepatitis B.
hepatitis B. Students, one mistake you have done, Roshan and Smriti. Don't say just OPV. It is OPV wo. Wo or zero it is. Don't say it is wo. It is zero. I think when I take the vaccination class, no, if possible, you people try to find out the reason
Yes,
why
ma'am. Fast.
mentioned that. Huh?
Zero dose, ma'am. It's
Yeah,
a zero
zero,
dose.
zero dose. Then zero dose means what at birth we are giving. Then we can
Yes,
write the zero dose for BCG and Hep B also. No? Why we are not writing for these two? Why it is zero dose is OPV is only given zero? Why not for these two fellows?
ma'am. BCG is single dose, ma'am.
It is single dose, but still our logic is saying that it is given at birth. Then hepatitis, then multiple doses are there, no? Then why didn't we mention here this one zero for hepatitis B? Okay, you people try to find out the answer for this. Otherwise, I'll only explain the reason for this. Yes. So these are the OPV, BCG, and hepatitis B. These are the three vaccines that are given at the time of birth. Now, one thing I want to ask you that nowadays, this one, FIPV, because in India we are not much commonly using this, but USA is already using this. What is this FIPV? Smriti Roshan, what is this FIPV? F stands for fractionated
In
injectable
injected polio
polio
vaccine.
vaccine.
Polio
And
vaccine.
yeah, this should be always given what? Intramuscularly, directly get into the muscle and just push the vaccine over there. So
Yes,
fraction
ma'am.
is little bit. And injectable polio vaccine. Here it is what? Killed vaccine. It is a killed vaccine.
Yes,
Whereas
ma'am.
our OPV is what? It is a live
Live
Life.
antibiotic.
vaccine. Now the thing is that now government is saying that this fractionated IPV, that is injectable polio vaccine, better you give to the children at 6
6 week and 14 weeks.
and 14.
14
6
weeks.
and 14.
10th week is not given because in
14, ma'am.
yeah, 10th week no need to give 6 weeks and 14 weeks you better give FIPV, that is injectable polio vaccine. But in USA now they are not much focusing on this OPV and they are mostly giving this IPV only, that is intramuscularly. Remember this route of administration, IM it is. Why? What is the thing is that OPV, what happens, this whatever OPV will go, it will get into what? Gut, our GI tract, right? And from the gut, this live polio virus, what will happen? It will be excreted through what? Fecus, fecal matter. And when this fecal matter contaminates the like food products or drinking water source, then what happens? Feco-oral contamination. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
getting the point. Now this feco-oral contamination happened, and many children, adults, many people will be there. All of them will be having this feco-oral contamination. Now in their body also what? Live attenuated viral strains are getting into them, and this will stimulate what? Their immune system, and it will produce what? Antibodies against this particular live attenuated P1 and P3 strains of the polio virus. Now they will also get immunized. Now what is happening? Just because one baby is getting OPV vaccine and this baby is giving advantage to what? Many people. That is what community is also getting benefited only just because of one baby getting vaccinated. Right?
Hard, hard immunity.
Yes, now definitely what is happening with this herd immunity. And do you think herd immunity can happen with this injectable polio vaccine? No.
No, ma'am.
Intramuscularly, I am giving. Now it will
No,
be
ma'am.
confined only to that, only one baby. To the baby or the child to whom I am injecting, only to that child it will enter and it will remain only in that child body. That's it. Yes, it will enter into systemic route and it will give benefit to only one baby. Whereas our
Yes.
OPV is giving benefit to many babies. Now, what our government of India is saying that anyway, this polio, it is now almost all it not many cases are reported in India. So no need to give OPV because it contains live viral strains. So better not have a risk of giving live viral strains. In future, we think of giving this IPV. So this is what government is thinking. Maybe in later future years, so the government may shift from OPV to IPV also. We don't know. Now, what is the
Yes.
shift that has happened in this OPV itself? Smriti, it has shifted from trivalent OPV to
To
it
the
has
divalent.
bivalent. In future, now there may be shift from OPV to IPV also. So these things we need to remember. Next, all statements are true regarding BCG vaccine except. Now we know that except he is
Given
asked.
sub
Yeah, what happened?
given subcutaneously, ma'am.
Yeah, given subcutaneously. So our thing is that it is intradermally it has been given. So that is the concept we know it. Why? Because once we give it intradermally, then only that scar will form. And by giving intradermally, there won't be any hematogenous spread of the this live bacterium. So otherwise, what happens? Hematogenous spread and complications may arise. So always it should be given intradermally. First statement itself is wrong over here. Second thing, it can be given in tuberculin negative patients, yes, because
Yes.
Yes.
child who is born immediately after birth, if you are giving BCG, no need to do tuberculin test. But after 28 days or after some days gap, if baby is born and who is not vaccinated for BCG, then better you do this tuberculin test. And if it comes negative, then you give BCG vaccination. At
Yes.
birth, immediately after birth, no need of this tuberculin test. Then, by giving this this one dermal route, we are able to prevent the hematogenous spread. This is also correct. And then, how it is prepared? This vaccination, BCG vaccination, is prepared from not from the human strain of Mycobacterium. It is prepared from bovine strain. That is
Yes,
from
ma'am.
animal strain. So using this animal strain of this mycobacterium and serial some 213 cultures are done. So like over a period of some 13 or so many years of culture this bovine strain, then we will get this attenuated form of this particular mycobacterium bovis, and this now we can give it to the patient. And very important thing I want to tell is that these are all what lyophilized vaccines. That is, they come in powder form. BCG vaccination. Have you seen this? How it is available? It is available freeze or powdered form. So you
Yes,
need
ma'am.
to mix this before giving it to the baby. How you will mix? Mix with the diluent.
Dilute.
So this concepts I'll tell you in the later part. So always we
Dilute.
you need to mix this powder and then you have to give it to the baby. Then once you mix it, immediately it has to be given. Maximum it can be stored for 4 hours. Otherwise, what happens if you don't give it after what 4 hours? Within 4 hours, then chances that if you give mixed vaccine after 4 hours, then the chances that high chances that the baby may develop toxic shock syndrome.
Six, sir.
And this toxic shock syndrome is more commonly seen with what? Measles vaccine. Any
Yes.
lyophilized vaccine, the complication is toxic shock syndrome because if you just mix and keep it aside and if you feel that later I will give, then what happens? That vaccine itself will become as a nice culture media for the growth of staph species. And then if you now inject after 4 hours to the baby, then chances that baby may develop toxic shock syndrome. And this toxic shock syndrome is most commonly associated with which measles, I mean, vaccine complication? Measles.
Measles, ma'am.
Remember, all live attenuated vaccine, all lyophilized vaccines, that is vaccines which come in powder form and which need to be mixed with the diluent, all these types of vaccines, they have the risk of developing toxic shock syndrome.
Syndrome.
And this risk is very high with which one? Measles.
Measles.
Yes. So lyophilized vaccines, all these concepts you need to know. Okay. So I will stop it here. I hope the concepts are clear for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts for you?
Ma'am, yesterday you asked one question, that is, if there is a epidemic area, there is vaccine is given or not.
Okay. Which vax? Okay. I'll tell you that one also. Wait. Okay. Now, for example, what is the concept here is that vaccine. So we are trying to create what? Active immunity, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
now what happens once this vaccine enters the body, it will get into our circulation and it has to stimulate our what? Antibodies. And
Antibodies.
time, yeah, and the time taken for the stimulation of these antibodies is how much? It is at least 6 to 8 weeks. It is a minimum duration, 6 weeks to 8 weeks. So whenever we inject any vaccine, immediately they don't get protection. It is not, the concept is not like that. Today, if the baby gets BCG or OPV, next second only the child will become immune to the that particular disease. No, it is not like that. At least we need to
Six to
wait
eight weeks.
for 6 to 8 weeks. So what happens with the before the 6 to 8 weeks? If the baby gets exposed to, for example, TB, then chances that the baby may get
We
TB
get
and clinical
affected.
manifestations may be there. That
Yes.
chances are very high. So any vaccine, the logic is that the time is very important. Vaccine, please wait for some time. Don't expect any immediate results. So it is something like whatever we do the hard work, now and then itself we won't get any results. So we need to wait over a period of time. Then only the good fruits are there. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Same thing only here. So vaccine immediate results are not there. Now what happens in epidemic outbreak? So epidemic curve, how it looks like a single curve like this, right? There will
Yes, ma'am.
be infection, then sudden rise of cases, then peak of cases, then if it is identified, then proper care is given, then again there will be fall of cases. Now this is the concept of epidemic. Now here epidemic, what happens? Incubation period. That time is very important. It is a period where maximum infectivity will be there. So now maybe for example measles if we take, so the incubation period is how much? 10 to 14 days.
10 to
This,
14 days, ma'am.
yeah, this should be there in your mind. Nobody should erase this. It is 10 to 14 days, and on average, it is 10 days
Yes, ma'am.
for measles. Most of the disease, you need to know the incubation period. Now, what happens if at all any outbreak is there? So, there will be some diseases like if you give the vaccine, if you try to give the vaccine, now vaccine definitely requires how much? 6 to 8 weeks. I know this concept. 6 to 8 weeks to give the protection. It at least requires. During this outbreak, if I give any vaccine, now outbreak means suddenly it won't give any protection. So even if you give vaccine also, there is no use. So many cases will be there and it will take its own sweet course. After 8th week, this vaccine will give some protection. Now at this 8th week, if the individual again develops this outbreak disease, that time protection will be there. Understood the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
But Smriti,
Ma'am says not in the line, ma'am.
yeah, fine. Now what happens for the measles? This is an exception. Measles, it is an exception. If you give the measles vaccine, today if you give measles vaccine, within 7 days, this vaccine protection is obtained. So if the baby gets vaccination for measles, now within 1 week, the child will get immunized from
Yes, ma'am.
measles. Now,
Yes,
after the 7th day, if the baby gets infected with the measles virus, no, it will be very strong and fit over there. Out of surrounding her, any number of children who are not immunized, they'll all get measles. But this baby won't get measles because this has got protection from the this measles vaccine. So measles vaccine is a peculiar type of vaccine which has got the quickest immune like vaccine protection. So within 7 days itself, it is giving its protection. Now see the concept here. What is the incubation period of measles? 10 days.
10 days.
What is the vaccine protection period? Within 7 days only, the child is getting what protection? Now, for example, if there is an epidemic outbreak of measles, any vaccine you give, it is of no use. But if there is a measles outbreak, and if you give the measles vaccine, pakka the baby will get the protection, or whoever is,
Immunization.
because they are getting a protection with which is less than the incubation period of that measles. Maybe 10 days is incubation period. Before that only they are getting protection. So they are
Yes, ma'am.
getting protected. So this is the only one vaccine that can be given during epidemic, whereas rest other vaccines should not be given, because vaccine to give protection, the time taken is more, usually 6 to 8 weeks, and this time is more than the incubation period of any disease which generally it
Disease.
is there. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
got the
Yes,
point?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we will meet tomorrow.
At 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, I have already uploaded. Uploaded. 6 o'clock, I'll take class, and probably there will be orthopedic class at 8 o'clock.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Artho he is taking. Tomorrow he said he will take Artho at 8. That's why I have changed my timetable to 6 o'clock. Okay. I have already
Thank.
uploaded the MCQs. Go through them. Try to solve them.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
sir.
And Roshan, what you do now, you go to your MCQ books and previous books, especially for
Yes.
community medicine, just
Yes.
go and
Yes, ma'am.
solve them, and then you see you will be like able to. It will be easy for you actually. Some calculation based problems or any concept linked problems, no, it will be easy for you to just
Yes,
finish
ma'am.
up.
I already solved some question. That's why today's MCQ is so much easier for me, ma'am.
Yes, yes, Roshan, just keep going ahead with the other subjects also, and
Yes.
in the
We'll be
next,
starting rest also slowly. Allah
yeah,
subhanahu.
and you inform your other friends also,
Okay,
Roshan.
join.
If anybody is interested, no, let them
So
also
we are
join.
starting gender surgery and we'll be starting ortho.
Okay.
All that
Okay,
one
sir.
by one people are joining our team, and I think so we'll be starting one after another. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Almost we'll try to cover almost all subjects, especially
Okay, sir.
clinical sciences. What has happened? They're asking more from clinical branches only, less from
Yes.
basic sciences. That's what is
Yes,
the
sir.
need 2020 is. Probably for you also it look like that only henceforth. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and we'll see about those basic sciences later. That also will be
Okay.
added. Definitely, that also required. First, we are starting with this.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
right.
And the next topic in community medicine, I'll be taking it on exclusively on vaccinations.
Okay, ma'am.
In detail, I'll tell you like which vaccine to be given at what schedule and what programs are going on in India, and what possible complications that can happen, and what possible questions can be asked for you in your entrance examination. So these
Yes, sir.
points I'll be covering in that. Then after this, I'll be starting with the national health programs, which is
Okay, ma'am.
very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Stop recording.